Starting in a comfortable seated position, use a block to sit up on. It's more comfy, keeping hips more level with the knees. Close your eyes and allow your awareness to scan over your body, observing how your body is feeling at the beginning of yoga practice. Relax your face and jaw, lips, teeth and tongue. On your inhalation, give your shoulders a shrug up to your ears and exhale them down your back. And again, inhaling up and exhale down. You might even sigh out through your mouth. Inhale, shoulders float up and exhale down. One more time, and then we keep the shoulders down away from the ears as if you could put them into your back pockets and keep them there. Be aware of the sensation of your breath flowing in and flowing out. Notice that your breath is like a circle that is repeating over and over again. Inhalation is followed by exhalation, followed by inhalation, a repeating circle. And as your awareness of the breath begins to heighten, notice that after every inhalation, there is a naturally occurring pause, and the exhalation just organically begins. And then after the exhalation, there is a pause, and the inhalation organically begins, and the circle continues on. And so the circle of breath is like a 4-part circle. Inhalation, natural pause. Exhalation, natural pause. Repeating over and over again. We're going to be working on the neck and shoulders today with flexibility and also strength. So let's start with our energy freeing series for the neck. So inhale, lengthen up your spine, and exhale, shoulders away from the ears, connected with your circle of breath. On your next exhalation, drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale as you look up, feeling space around the throat, but not letting your head crane back. Exhale, chin towards the chest. And inhale, looking up. Continue with your breath. So as you move, just observing the sensations that you feel. Keep your lower spine wonderfully long, lifting and lengthening each vertebra away from its neighbour underneath. Last round, on your inhalation, bring your head back to centre, and exhale, tilting your head, bringing ear towards the shoulder. Inhale, head to centre, and exhale, tilt your head. Inhale, head to centre, continue with your breath. Exhale, tilt, inhale, head to centre, maybe bringing your fingertips down by your sides to deepen the stretch, intensify it. Exhale, tilt, inhale to centre. You're aware of that circle of breath, the organic pauses in the circle. That pause at the end of the exhalation, you have your head tilted to the side and the deep, delicious stretch down the side of the neck as the shoulders draw away from the ears. Last round, take your time, bring your head back to center, head, neck and spine all aligned. Exhale, turn to look over one shoulder. Inhale, head to center. Exhale, look over the other shoulder. And inhale, head to center, continuing with your breath. Take your time. And come back to the center, bring hands back to knees or thighs. Let's combine these movements all together. Exhale, chin towards your chest. Inhale, circle your chin up. And exhale down. Keep going. One more in this direction. Keep thinking of your lower back nice and long. Make sure you're not hunching your shoulders. Go back the other way, inhaling, circling up, and exhale down. Take your time, float your head back to center, head, neck and spine aligned. Inhaling, floating one arm up, and exhaling, drawing your head over to the side. You can place the hand that's the opposite side from the way you're drawing your neck down to the floor. So that ear is lengthening away from the shoulder. Keep lengthening all up the lower back. And breathe. Lovely deep side stretch for the neck and release. Have a few big shoulder shrugs and circles. Inhaling, circling shoulders up and exhaling down. And the other way. And then inhaling, floating the other arm up and exhaling, draw your head over to that side, reaching away with your opposite hand. Shoulder draws away from the ears. Both shoulders draw away from the ears, really. Even though you're drawing this ear towards the shoulder, you're keeping shoulders down. And especially this shoulder is sliding away from the ear. Feel as though you're drawing your head up and over, so you're not pushing down on your head. You're drawing it and lengthening it up. Breathing into the top of the trapezius muscle on the side of the neck. Observe where you feel the sensations of stretches and come back to center. Bring palms to touch in front of your heart, inhaling, squeezing palms together. Exhaling, dropping your shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, squeeze palms together, feel strength in your upper back. Exhale, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, squeeze palms together. Exhale, open your hands up like a book. Backs of the hands together, fingers down and push away. Breathe into the back of your body. And exhale, fingers down, around and up, palms to touch. And then we're inhaling the hands up, interlock the fingers, turn your palms towards the ceiling. Exhale, drop your chin. Inhale, bring your head to center, ground your sit bones, ground your feet. Exhale, reach, extend and lengthen into a side knee. Really push your palms away and think of having a lot of length in the side bodies. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, reach, extend and lengthen the other way. Inhale, back to center, and then exhale as you push your palms away from you, rounding your upper body. Inhale, reach and lengthen up. Exhale, release your arms down. Have a few big shoulder shrugs and circles, inhaling up and exhaling down. And circling the other way. And then changing the cross of your legs, keep your body nice and even. Move the flesh of the buttocks out the way, centered on your sit bones. Bring palms to touch in front of your heart. Inhale, squeezing palms together. Exhale, drop your shoulders away from your ears. And again, feel that wonderful strong frame with your arms. Good. And again. I'm going to repeat that sequence. So inhaling, squeezing palms together. Exhale, open your hands up like a book. Backs of the hands together, fingers down, stretch away. Inhale here. Exhaling down, around and up. Lotus flower gesture. Palms to touch. Inhale, reach your hands up, interlock your fingers, turn your palms towards the ceiling. Exhale, drop your chin. Inhale, bring your head to center. Ground your sit bones, ground your feet. Exhale, extend over into a side lean. Inhale, back to the middle. Exhale, reach, extend and lengthen over. Inhale, back to the middle, and then exhale, push your palms away as you round your upper body. Inhale, reach and lengthen up towards the sky. And exhale, float your hands down. Nice big shoulder circles. Inhale your arms out to cactus arms, elbows level with the shoulders. Shoulders away from the ears, so you're like a capital E shape on its side. Inhale here. And exhale as you turn your fingers down, inward rotation of the shoulders. Inhaling up, keep that nice, strong capital E shape. Torso nice and square forward. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, broad. Exhale. So inhale, external spiral rotation of the shoulders. And exhale, internal. One more. Lovely. And release. Have a few nice shoulder shrugs and circles. Bring palms to touch in front of your heart. Inhale, reach and lengthen up, and exhale, gentle twist from the base of your spine. Look up over your back shoulder. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale back to center. Let's repeat 2 times each side. And you can really turn to look with your head and your neck to help get that stretch in the neck. You can even look with your eyes to help stretch it in your eyes. And back to center. Release your hands down. So coming forward onto hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Spread out your fingers. Creases between your wrists and hands parallel with the front of the mat. Lengthen from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Draw your tummy in. I know my top's a bit baggy today, but tummy's drawn in towards the spine. Into your flat cat position, gently pushing the floor away from you, tiny soft elbow bend so that you're not locking the elbows straight. Shoulders draw down the back and away from the ears. A nice lengthened line from crown of the head to tailbone, so back of the neck parallel with the floor. And then imagine you have a light on your chest and you're shining it straight down towards the earth. Inhale as you shine the light forward in front of you, curl your toes into the mat, up cat. Bring the tops of your feet to the mat and exhale, round into down cat. Inhaling, shining through to up cat, curl the toes under, and exhale, round into down cat. One more like this. And then we're going to keep going with the movements for the spine, but keeping the tops of your feet flat on the mat. So just working with the spine. Inhale, shine through to up cat, roll the shoulders back, not dipping or sagging through the lower back, but just accentuating that curve of the lower back. Keep tummy gently drawing in towards the spine, and exhale round. Let's bring in our variation for the neck. So inhaling, shining through, turn to look over one shoulder, tuck your tailbone under, feel the forward bend flowing up the spine, coming into round cat. Inhale, shine through to up cat, turn to look over the other shoulder. Tuck your tailbone under, feel that forward bend flowing up the spine, coming into round cat. We'll keep going with the neck, but extend this to our child pose. So looking over one shoulder, tuck your tailbone under, feel the forward bend flowing up the spine. You come to center, you sink your bottom down to child pose, bottom towards the heels. And inhaling, shining through to up cat. Keep the tops of the feet flat on the mat. Look over your left shoulder. Tuck your tailbone under. Rounding and down. Beautiful. So let's do 2 more rounds each side. Just take your time. So you've done an even amount of these movements each side. For each way of turning the neck. No rush at all. And then come to rest in your child pose for a few breaths. Have a little rock side to side, maybe circle out for your wrists, relax your arms, and breathe. You might like to bring your arms down by your sides, palms face up if that's comfy for you. Relax everything. So then we reaching your hands out in front of you, spread out all your fingers. Turn your palms to face upwards for a moment and feel how this rolls the outside edges of the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe wide and full in between your shoulder blades. So the outside edges of the shoulders sort of rolling in an external spiral towards the floor, creating space in between the shoulder blades and a stretch there. Keep drawing your shoulder blades down your back as if you could put them into your back pockets and keep them there. And then grounding your hands down, spreading out with your fingers. We're coming into face child pose, so tiny small movement. Ground your hands firmly into the earth. Inhale as you lift your collarbone up and forward. So you're using your pectoral muscles in the chest, your muscles in your back, but not the superficial muscles in your neck. So your forehead will drift off the floor, but the highest you would come would be to have the back of the neck parallel to the floor. You're not looking up with the neck. Exhale, release everything back down. Ground your hands. Inhale, lift collarbone up and forward, flat back. Face child pose. Exhale, release back down. And again, inhaling, collarbone up and forward, face child pose. And exhale down. We're going to combine our face child pose with our dynamic dog vinyasa today. So inhaling, come up to hands and knees. Curl your toes under. Exhale, bottom into the air into downward dog. Inhale, slowly to hands and knees. And exhale, child pose. So our face child pose comes next. Ground the hands. Inhale, lift collarbone up and forward. And exhale, release back down. Inhale, hands and knees. Curl toes under. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, child pose. So I'm going to add a round of breath in here and then take it away in a bit. So we're inhaling, turning the palms to face up, so you get that external spiral of rotation in the upper arms. Try to keep that there as you exhale your hands down. Inhaling, collarbone up and forward, flat back pose. Exhale, release back down. Keep the hands grounded and firmly planted though. Keep thinking of that external spiral of rotation in the shoulders. Inhale, hands and knees. Curl toes under. Exhale, bottom into the air into downward dog. Push the tailbone up and back. Press the hands into the air. Inhale, hands and knees. Tops of the feet to the mat. Exhale, child pose. Inhale, palms face up. Exhale, palms face down. Ground into your hands. Inhale, lift collarbone up and forward. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, child pose. So one more round with our little palm turn. Inhale, palms face up. Exhale, palms face down. Inhale, lift collarbone up and forward. And exhale, release back down. Inhale, up to hands and knees. Curl toes under. Exhale into downward dog. So we'll keep flowing a little bit. You can leave that hand turn out if you want to, or you can keep it in. But just think of keeping the external spiral of rotation in the upper arm. So inhaling, collarbone lifts up and forward, face child pose, and exhale, release back down. Inhale, hands and knees, curl toes under, exhale, downward dog. Flow in your own breath timing. You may like to stay in stillness and downward dog or keep flowing on with every breath. Either is fine. If you want to stay in downward dog for a few breaths, you can paddle out the feet, dropping alternate heels or just inquiring into clarifying your posture in downward dog, grounding the hands. Think of the external spiral of rotation in the upper arms and the shoulders while you're in your downward dog.
And if you can create that, notice how that affects your downward dog. How does it feel on your shoulders? Can you feel more space, maybe a little stretch in between the shoulder blades at the back of your body? Can you feel more stretch in your side bodies? Keep the navel gently drawing in towards the spine. Relax your neck. Let your head hang down. You can look up underneath yourself to remind you to draw the tummy in and also to release the back of the neck more. Inhale here and exhale as you step your right foot forward in between the hands. Lower your back knee or feel free to keep it lifted for more challenge. Inhaling, reaching your arms up to low lunge. Exhale, ground your hands, step back to downward dog. Inhale, slowly, hands and knees. Exhale, child pose. Inhaling, collarbone up and forward, face child pose. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, hands and knees. Curl the toes under and exhale. Downward dog. Inhale here. Exhale, step left foot forward. Inhaling up into your lunge. You can put the back knee down for more stability. And grab the hands. So we're going to step forward to the front of the mat. You might like to slide your front foot back a bit. Step forward, knees bend, belly rest on the thighs. Forward fold. Let's take a moment to hang out here, catching hold of your opposite elbow in front of you. Really important that your belly is on the thighs, so bend your knees as much as you need to. Feel as though your upper body is just spilling out of the top of the pelvis. You might like to have a very gentle sway side to side. Just for a moment, catch hold of the opposite elbow, so change the cross of the arms rather. Good. And then from here, bring hands onto your shins and inhale, lift your collarbone up and forward, keeping your knees bent, coming up to a flat back position. And exhale, release back down. Draw your tummy in, lift your pelvic floor as you hinge at your hips and come all the way up standing. Inhale towards the top. And exhale, hands down in front of your heart. So then coming into Tadasana, anywhere is comfortable on your mat, or just come here so you can see me a bit better. Heel behind the widest part of the foot. Feet parallel, lifting and spreading out your toes, rocking forwards and backwards on your feet. And just making each tilt a little bit smaller each time until you feel that the feet are grounded. Ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe, left and right sides of the heel. Have a soft knee bend, bring your awareness to your pelvis and tip your pelvis forwards and backwards, making each tilt smaller each time until the pelvis is perfectly level, like a bowl of water that's not spilling. Shoulders tuck over the hips. Inhale, circle your shoulders up and exhale them down. Inhale up and exhale down. And then going the other way. And then finding the place where the shoulder blades are in their perfect position on the back, not sloping forwards, not squeezing together. And they are down away from your ears. Bring palms to face forward, soft knees not looking straight, lifted from the base of your skull and the crown of your head, breathing here. We're going to keep this lovely posture, ribs drawn in, as we do some arm circles. So just let your arms hang loosely by your sides now. And then we're starting with the shoulders, so inhaling, circling up and exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And you can just stay like this, or you can add your arms in. And the arms become like levers, so they stretch into the muscles around the shoulders and the tops of the arms more. They also make it a little bit more challenging to keep a neutral posture. So you want to make sure you're not swaying backwards here. So you're keeping the ribs drawn in, keeping the posture perfectly neutral. And the sizes of these circles and how much you're stretching your arms into it will depend on your body. Make sure you can keep the ribs drawn in and not flaring. Circling smaller and smaller, and then arms come down by your sides. Let's go the other way. Inhale, circle up and exhale down. Maybe bringing your arms into this more. Keep soft knees, neutral pelvis, toes relaxed, grounding through the ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe, left and right sides of the heel, that checklist going over your body. Check your posture staying good.
Beginning to circle smaller and smaller until you come to stop. And then bringing your weight over into your left foot, you can have hands on your hips. Take your right foot into your hand, so you could just hold the ankle of the foot and feel your right knee yielding down towards the earth. Any problems in your right knee, then you can either stay here or you can leave this one out. Just be aware of the right knee. Make sure this is not causing any discomfort. Nice neutral pelvis. So really check you're not sticking your bottom out behind you. Think of your tailbone as descending down towards the earth. Bringing your left arm up with thumb and forefinger to touch in Jnana Mudra. Chest is shining forward. And to go a little further here, you can push your right foot into your hand. And I like to hold the inside edge of my foot so it gives a deeper shoulder stretch. And you can see how high you can lift that foot up behind you. Try and keep upright as much as you can, so it's a gentle back bend. Not letting the right hip fly up. Keeping the hips nice and square. Lovely. Come back to centre. Have a paddle out for your feet. And then let's do the other side. So bringing weight into the right foot. Taking the left foot or ankle into the hand. Feel your knee yielding down towards the earth. Pay attention to the comfort of your knee. Any discomfort, then stop here, leave this one out. And then taking your right arm up, bringing thumb and forefinger to touch in Jnana Mudra. Keep dropping that shoulder down your back. And as we push the back foot into the hand, you can either keep the hand on the outside edge of the foot or bring it to the inside edge of the foot. Have a little play with what feels good for you. Push your foot into your hand. Keep your heart as upright and open as possible. So you'll find yourself probably hinging a little forward at the hips. But keep the heart lifted. This is dancer pose and it's a back bend. So we want to keep that nice open heart. Keep dropping your shoulders down your back and away from your ears. Even lift your chin slightly. Lift your gaze towards the line between the ceiling and the wall. Wonderful, energizing, uplifting balance. And slowly come back to center. Have a few lovely shoulder shrugs and circles. Ground your feet. Inhale, reaching one arm up, and exhale over into a side lean. Think of shortening the side of the waist as you reach down towards your ankle. Draw your tummy in, lift your pelvic floor, come back to center. Reach the other arm up and exhale over into a side lean. Draw your tummy in, lift your pelvic floor, inhale back to center. And then relaxing your arms down. Widen your feet, so have them a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Parallel feet, heel behind the widest part of the foot. Inhale, lengthen up out of your hips, and exhale, hinge forward at your hips. Let your knees bend and your belly rest on your thighs. Rounding over and taking hold of your ankles with your fingers on the inside and thumbs on the outside. So again, the upper body is spilling out the top of the pelvis. The legs are strong. Toes are relaxed. Balls of the feet broad. You can think of lifting and spreading out your toes. And even as you do that, notice how this changes the stretches in the backs of the legs. Make sure your lower back is flat, so the sacroiliac area where the spine meets the pelvis is flat. You could rest a cup of tea on there. If you find that you're tucking your tailbone and it's kind of pointing down towards the earth, try bringing your weight forward, bending your knees a bit more, but then working the tailbone back up towards the sky. So you can get such a deep hamstring stretch here, even with bent knees. And then your shoulders are in this internal spiral of rotation. So in opposition to the external spirals that we've been doing earlier in the class. So such a wonderful stretch for the rotator cuff muscles that hold the shoulder blades onto the back.
the latissimus dorsi muscles that are just underneath the shoulder blades, which we use to draw the shoulders down the back. These ones are all getting a really nice stretch now. Have a little sway side to side. Release your neck, let your head hang down. And then sinking your bottom down, coming into squat pose. Let your elbows nudge your knees apart, palms to touch, lengthen your spine. It's fine for your heels to lift up. Check in with your face and jaw, lips, teeth and tongue, that they are relaxed. Shoulders are away from your ears. If you find yourself rounding, try lifting the heels a bit more. It becomes more of a balance with the heels lifted, but it depends on your level of flexibility. So heels might be able to be down, but you shouldn't feel any strain in the back, and you should be long and lengthened. Lovely. So then bring your bottom down to the floor and give your knees a quick hug in cosmic egg pose. Balancing here for a moment, and then crossing the arms in the opposite way. And just noticing how that feels. Face and jaw, relax. Bring your feet down to the floor, and then come into a mermaid position. Come down via your side and roll onto your front. And you can take a moment just to lay on the mat and melt into the mat. Have a little wiggle side to side. And then bringing your head to centre and your hands forward, scooching your hands forward until your elbows are underneath your shoulders. And just having a little wiggle side to side as you melt here into the mat. Then drawing your tummy in towards your spine, so you feel as though you've got a little daisy underneath your tummy that you don't want to squash, or you're floating on a cloud. This is our Sphinx pose. Ground down a little extra through the baby toe sides of your feet. And imagine that the backs of your legs have lines on them like stockings shining up towards the ceiling. And you're really extending out through the toes, like extending out all the way through that baby toe side of the foot. Crown of the head is lifted and lengthened. A few breaths here. Nice gentle energizing back bend. Good. And then slowly lowering yourself back down to the mat and relax. You can let your head turn to the side, or maybe create a diamond shaped cradle with your hands for your head if that's more comfy. And relax here. So then rolling over onto your side, using the strength of your arms, coming up to sitting, and then coming down into child pose. Have a nice deep breath here. And then coming up onto elbows and knees. We're coming into a half plank on the elbows. So elbows are under shoulders directly. Hips are forward of the knees. You can clasp your hands if that feels comfortable in front of you. You want your elbows about shoulder width apart, and you can do that by just clasping opposite elbow in front of you and then clasping hands, making this triangle shape here. So hips forward of the knees. Just make sure that you're not sagging through your lower back. So draw the tummy in towards the spine, even having the sense of ever so slightly tucking the tailbone. And so you're feeling really strong here, shoulders over the elbows, back of the neck long. If you do want a little bit more challenge, you can curl your toes under, push your heels away, coming into a full plank on the elbows, and breathe. Again, tucking the tailbone just slightly, feel the lower abdominals snuggling in towards the back of the pelvis. Breathe, maybe use your ujjayi breath if you know how to do that. Or breathing out through the mouth. Push the floor away from you with your elbows, with your forearms. You might have your arms like this as well. And really engage the fronts of your thighs. Good. Lower your knees down if they were lifted. And then we're going to sink back into child pose. Just getting yourself settled there. Have a little wobble and a wiggle. Good. Breathe. So if you have any problems with your wrists, then I would suggest just doing that one again. If not, we can do a floating cat. And floating cat's quite strong on the wrists. Great strength builder. Great for shoulder, back and core strength. And wrist strength as well. So we're coming into a cat position with hips directly over knees. So that's differing from our plank, which had hips forward of knees. We have hips directly over knees and hands directly under shoulders. But don't be too bunched up. Make sure that you're nice and long through the spine still. Each vertebra lengthening away from its neighbour underneath it. Lengthening from crown of head to tailbone. Have the sense of pushing the floor away and then feel that broadness that results in between the shoulder blades. Almost feeling a slight external spiral of rotation of the shoulders, but only slightly. You're not rounding through the lower back. Just broad across the back of the body and the front of the body evenly. Pectoral muscles are working. Curl your toes under. Draw your tummy in towards the spine, nose sagging through the lower back, so tummy is really drawn in. And then lifting your knees just a centimetre off the mat. Back of the neck is long, parallel to the floor, not craning the head up or dropping it down. Think of being a long line from crown of head to tailbone. Push the floor away. Tiny micro bend in the elbows so you're not locking the elbows straight. One more breath. Doing so well. And lower your knees down. You can keep the toes curled under, sink your bottom back into child pose with the toes curled under for an extra toe stretch. And then flip the feet to bring the top of the feet to the mat. And wiggle side to side. Melt, melt, melt here. Good. Lovely. So then we're going to practice chaturanga into downward facing dog, into upward facing dog. Again, if this is too strong on your wrists, then come back and practice your half plank or full plank again. So we're coming back up to hands and knees, and this time coming into a half plank on the hands. So hips come forward of the knees, drawing tummy in, lifting pelvic floor, slightly tucking the tailbone, curling toes under. So exhale, lower yourself down in one long piece. Come down to the floor completely, bring the tops of the feet to the mat. Ground down through the baby toe sides of the feet, shine the backs of the legs up towards the ceiling. Keep elbows hugged in towards your sides. Inhale, lift your collarbone up and forward. And then exhale, release back down, draw your tummy in, lift your pelvic floor, curl your toes under. Inhale, push back up to hands and knees. And exhale, sinking into child pose. So then this time we're going to do an up dog preparation pose. So inhaling, coming back up into your half plank, toes curled under, hands are under the shoulders, hips forward of the knees, tucking the tail slightly, snuggling your tummy in towards the spine. Inhale here, and exhale, lower down in one long piece, keeping elbows in, come down to the floor. Engage your heels as you inhale, lift the fronts of your thighs, lifting your collarbone up, and that collarbone lift is kind of very natural that happens there as you really lengthen the heels away, engage the fronts of the thighs, and then release back down. Draw your tummy and lift your pelvic floor, pushing up to hands and knees, and sink your bottom back to child pose. Lovely. And then we'll try that one again, but coming into an upward facing dog. So inhaling up to your half plank, curl the toes under, push the floor away, soft micro bend in your elbows, draw the tummy and lift the pelvic floor. You're going to lower down in one long piece again, but keep your inner hip bones just slightly raised. And you'll see what's going to happen. So we're inhaling here. Exhale as you lower down one long piece, but the hip bones this time stay slightly raised. Then push your collarbone through as you engage the fronts of your thighs. Push out through your heels and shine your chest forward into up dog. Press the knees down, sink back, into child pose. Release. Lovely. So we'll do that one again with up dog again, but this time I'm going to come straight into down dog from up dog. If that feels too much for you, then just go back to what we just did where you drop the knees and come back into child pose. So we're being on the inhalation, up to hands and knees, finding our half plank, so maybe adjusting the hand position, tucking the tailbone under, draw tummy in towards the spine. Inhale and exhale, lower down to the floor in one long piece, but keep the inner hip bone slightly raised as you push your collarbone through and up. Engage the fronts of your heels. Push out through the heels, engage the fronts of the thighs into upward facing dog, and then pushing the hands into the mat, exhaling all the way back into downward facing dog. And have a nice little paddle out for the feet here. Inhale, hands and knees, and exhale into child pose. Have a rest here. Oh, lovely. And so then, coming back up again onto hands and knees. We're going to do a couple of twists to finish. So you can come in to thread the needle twist from hands and knees, which is more intense, or you can drop down onto your elbows. So elbows and knees. You can have your hips just a tiny bit forward of the knees coming into this twist, not as much as in the plank, but it's just to keep your spine wonderfully long. Or if you prefer to come from hands and knees, that's fine too. So inhaling here, and exhale as you turn your left hand over, slide it underneath the right armpit, bringing the head and left shoulder to the floor. If you've come down from hands and knees, you can use this top hand to push the floor away and roll your top shoulder out a little bit more. If you come down from elbows and knees, just really relax into the mat and sink in. And if you find it difficult to get your head and shoulder to the floor, use a block or support underneath. And then pushing the floor away with your supporting top hand or elbow, and coming back up onto hands and knees or elbows and knees. Inhale here, and exhale, twisting the other way. Thread the needle. If you've got your top hand on the floor, you can push the hand into the mat to roll the top shoulder around a little more. And if you've got your elbows down, just sink, you can melt the upper body. Good. Grounding into your hand or elbow or forearm, coming up onto hands and knees. Curl your toes under and exhale into downward facing dog. Stretch tailbone up and back, push hands into the mat. And then from here, tucking your tailbone under, rounding your spine, feel that forward bend flowing up the spine as you bring your weight forward, stacking your shoulders over your hands, and maybe take a few breaths here in your full plank if you want. Up to you. Push out through the heel, lower your knees down, and sink back to child pose. Whew. Circle out the wrists. Lovely. And then slowly roll up to sitting. So let's come to lie down for a twist. Recline twist. So lowering down on your side, roll over onto your back, and give your knees a hug. Gently rock side to side, circling your knees. And then one at a time, bring your feet down and bringing your arms out wide to shoulder height, shoulders away from the ears. Ground your hands. Lift your bottom, shift it to the left, place it back down. Let your knees fall to the right. Sliding your bottom hip under the top hip so the hips are stacked. And you've got a nice right angle bend at your hips and a right angle bend at your knees. And if you want this twist in the neck, you can just turn your head towards the left hand and just soften everything here. A few breaths here, just relaxing your whole body, relaxing everything. And when you're ready, slowly come back to center. Give your knees a hug, gently rock side to side, circling the knees. And one at a time, bringing your feet to the floor. Shift your bottom, let your hips fall to the, knees fall to the right, left, other side. Hips are stacked, arms out to shoulder height, shoulders away from the ears. Maybe bringing that twist into the neck if you wish. And remember, you can place blocks in between your knees or underneath the knee or cushions, or place something under this shoulder if it helps to support it. And breathe. So then bringing everything back to center, head, neck, feet, bottom, everything. And realigning yourself down the middle of the mat, give your knees a hug. Shovel your shoulders down your back, a little optional extra on your exhalation with the chin tucked. Draw your lowest rib closer to the inner hip bones as you crunch up into a little ball, so using your abdominal muscle strength. Shoulders draw down away from the ears. Slowly release your abdominal muscles over a few breaths to come back down. And then bring your feet down and have a full body stretch. Coming into your Shavasana, so make sure you're warm enough. Do keep your knees bent up with knees knocking together, toes turn in, if that feels best for you, or allowing your legs to be up. With shoulders away from your ears and chin tucked in gently towards your chest, take a breath here. And on your exhalation, let your head roll over to one side. Inhale, float the head back to center, and exhale the other way. And inhale back, continue with your breath. Last round, coming back to center, head, neck and spine all aligned. And relax.
Have your palms face upwards by your side, fingers gently curling in their most relaxed position. Keep your chin ever so slightly tucked in towards your chest, and either have your legs extending out straight with the toes flopping out to the sides, or keep your knees bent up and your feet flat on the surface underneath you. Notice how you're feeling. Notice your state of mind. Accept completely how you are feeling right now. If there are any thoughts present in your mind, then one by one acknowledge each thought and imagine that it drifts up out of your mind and dissolves peacefully in the sky. Allow your awareness to scan over your body and notice how you are feeling. Notice if there are any areas of tension in your body and just accept these for now. Noticing all of the points of contact between your body and the surface underneath you. Feeling as though you are grounded and connected with the earth. Relax your face and your jaw, and bring your awareness to the sensation of your breath. Begin to observe the breath as it flows in through the nostrils and out. Feel as though with every exhalation, tension melts away from your body. And then bringing your awareness down to your feet and observing how your feet are feeling. Notice the temperature of your feet. Maybe your toes are cozy in your socks or feeling cool in the fresh air. And feel as though you are relaxing your toes, relaxing the soles of your feet, your heels and your ankles. Relax your shins and your calves, your knees and your thighs, feeling as though the flesh were melting away from the bone, any tension melting away into the earth underneath you. Your whole legs are relaxed. Relax your buttocks, relax your hips, relaxing the base of the spine, and all the muscles of the lower back feel soft and relaxed. Think of your spine and imagine that it is soft and long, each vertebra with lots of space. Each vertebra with lots of space, and from this lovely soft long spine travels waves of softness out into the muscles of your lower back, your mid-back and your upper back. Feel as though with every inhalation that you are sending nourishment to the muscles of your back and your spine, and with every exhalation you relax these muscles more and tension melts away. Relax your shoulders. Relax the back of your neck. Relaxing your arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands and fingers. Feeling as though all of the tasks that your hands have been doing throughout the day are simply melting away, so that your hands are left relaxed, palms facing up, signifying the openness of your body, mind and heart. And then bringing your awareness to the back of your neck, and again relaxing the muscles of your neck, relaxing your scalp, your forehead, your temples and your eyes. Eyes gently closed. Being aware of the place where your upper eyelid meets your lower eyelid in each eye. Your face relaxed, calm and free from expression. Relax your jaw, your lips, teeth and tongue. Relax your throat, your chest and your tummy. Relax your pelvic floor muscles and find your soft passive core. Your whole body relaxing. Relax your whole body and feel it resting. Feel your body resting, feeling as though every exhalation releases you more completely into a healing place of rest.
And when you're ready, wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch however your body needs. Roll over onto your side. Use the strength of your arms to come up to sitting. And notice how you feel to be upright again, awake and alert, and back in the physical world. Namaste.